We got Peter Harllee coming up, Pioneers chair and buggy chair. That's a fun looking story. Hey, Peter, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Can't complain. I'm here, Tech and Fru, and hopefully we'll be seeing some races in a little bit.
Oh yeah, I hope to see that.
So we hear you have a story to tell us about the bridge getting paved on race day.
Yes.
What's this about?
So the bridge from down at the bottom of Fru over to the library or over to Carnegie was being rebuilt in 93, 94. And about a week and a half ahead of race day, we found out they were going to pour the concrete for the bridge on race day. And as assistant buggy chairman that year, I was kind of the liaison to the bridge construction. And the problem was that they wanted to push all the dump trucks or concrete trucks back up Shenley. We tried to ask them to back out, and they said no. And we finally made a compromise with Phipps, and they went up Phipps' driveway around, up right in front of it. Honestly, I can't believe they allowed us to do that, because Phipps was notorious for not letting us do much at all.
Phipps has always been, and Sweepstakes have always been a little contentious, it feels.
So the flagger job that day was not only trying to keep people off the road, but also having the time when the concrete trucks would come off the bridge and onto the Phipps property while, not doing it during a buggy race.
That had to be like a logistical nightmare from a Sweepstakes perspective.
Oh, it was terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Especially you don't have like Google Sheets and stuff to organize that.
I mean, you don't have cell phones at the time, I would imagine.
No. It was
walkie-talkies.
We basically had, the radio guys would, call up to say, "Can a truck leave now?" And you can imagine the truck drivers were not, too.
I'm sure.
Thrilled about being delayed any bit.
I'm sure. So you were on Sweepstakes. I don't know if you ever had like a weather delay sort of this, but like if you did, like what's going through your mind? Like what are you working on? To the extent you can remember, obviously it's a little while ago.
It's been a long
now,
time, but I mean the main thing was just how many races do you have?
Yeah.
What time are you going to lose the roads?
Yep.
Work backwards from there. How short of time are you willing to try to go between heats? We did go down one year to 6-minute heats.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Which, if everything goes perfect,
is
just fine.
That's got to be like the bare minimum that you can get away with.
Yes.
And you really do need everything to be perfect.
But I have, from 94, that same year, we did have a delay because of a spin in the chute where 2 buggies were involved. So we had to get both trucks back down to pick up both buggies, which then constituted we had to delay a heat. And that year, Andy Bordick was Picus chairman. And when you have a delay just a couple heats ahead of one of his teams, you hear about it.
And in
still
fact,
hear about it, I think.
You may still hear about it this year, right?
Absolutely, yes.
And he probably won that year, too.
I believe, yes. Yes, he did win that year. So in the end, it worked out for him. I think the other thing, Sweepstakes, being on the Sweepstakes committee it's a very tough job. Because there's not a lot of support. There's a lot of support from the teams, but there's also a lot of conflict between the teams.
If you're ever
and
talking to them, it's probably not good news or right.
So usually, when we're talking with 2 teams, there's always that little bit of tension at times. But there's a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah, I mean, and I know you were pioneers. I know there's a lot of a connection. I mean, it's been 10 years now, and this is the 10th anniversary of Apex. But there was a lot of overlap in the early years between Pioneers and Apex. And I hear you may have a particular connection to Apex.
Yes. So my daughter is attending here, and she actually is a mechanic for Apex now.
Oh, awesome!
And she did her first full buggy build this year.
Oh, so she worked on Nova.
Yes.
Very
So
nice.
She worked on Nova.
Did she get any tips for how to build a standard trike from you?
We did have some discussions about just, things we did back in the day. Although, remember, Pioneers went from reverse trike, their first 2 buggies,
Yep.
to forward trike.
With Turmoil? Was that?
With Turmoil. That was actually my first full buggy build.
Okay.
I was the assistant chair for Pioneers that year.
Wow.
So yeah, it's very it's kind of interesting, some of the calls. When we had a call with them asking about, well, when you guys built the buggy, how did you do this? And you're like, I don't really remember. Let me see if I can find some photos.
Right.
And so, how does it feel coming back as a buggy parent as opposed to a buggy participant or just like a fan generally?
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's.
Do you have any
It gives a
added
different-
stress as Apex is rolling?
A little bit, although it's more fun.
Yeah.
Actually, I
Yeah.
mean, honestly, it's more about the fun of it than seeing that than really stress. And I bought the lead truck auction for their race today, so I'm really hoping we can get this in because I hope to get some
wood.
really good photos.
That'll be great. And yeah, I mean, definitely the lead truck is the place to do that.
It is. Although, I did do the lead truck a few years ago, and having the harness on is a little different than back in the
Yeah,
day.
they
It
used
is.
to
I
do
mean,
it.
but yeah, back in the day. I mean, I graduated in 2008. I remember sitting in the follow truck when I was chair in 2007, and I'm like hanging out the back with like my camera, like screaming at my pushers, going,
Yeah,
push.
One of my first years riding in the follow car, and of course we had a spin, and I remember being out of the truck in the air and then realizing the truck hadn't stopped because you just went over the side because
Yeah.
just in the moment, and thankfully the truck wasn't going super fast at the time I jumped because I was able to stay on my feet. So,
Wow. Jason
but
Statham stuff.
Yeah, it was. It's one of those moments of, oh, what did I just do?
Yeah. With that said, I mean, it's probably better the way they have it now. It is safer. It's just slightly less good view sometimes.
There was the discussions with who was the sponsor of the trucks again?
Cochran. Number one Cochran.
Yes,
Do
number
one
Cochran,
more.
Yes, because there was always discussions with them when we get the trucks about what you weren't supposed to do.
Yeah. Wow.
So, yeah, it's been it's great. It's
That's great. So are there things you're looking forward to either today or coming up in the future with buggy as well?
Well, we'll see. My son's actually starting as a freshman here next
Oh,
year.
wow.
So
There you go.
we'll see if that continues.
Is he going to join Apex, you think?
I don't know.
So they're going to be
I can't predict that.
Maybe some competition?
Can't make a prediction of whether that will be a
a-
want to be close or not want to be close.
A friendly sibling rivalry, maybe adding the next level. Give Apex a natural rival out there. That's great.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
else we wanna talk
thanks
about?
for
But,
thanks for chatting. Appreciate it. And hopefully we get to see some races. Very interesting stuff, and probably a lot more fun without having to make the rain call.
It is, yes. That is always the worst when you have to finally make that
Yeah.
call as sweepstakes chairman.